Okay, let's graph a piecewise function now. This is problem number 4 from your quiz review. We see we have 3 pieces to this function, and let's see, the middle piece is a constant function, so it doesn't really have much of an interval. It's only defined at x equals -4, and that's the boundary between all 3 of the functions. So I'm just going to sketch a vertical line here at x equals -4, just as a guide. You do not need to do this on your graphs. And now I'm going to evaluate each of these 3 pieces for 1 or 2 points. The middle one, I'll just do that 1 point, but the other 2 are lines, so I'll go ahead and evaluate 2 points so that I can get a slope on them. And let's see, for the first one, for 2x minus 1, I'm going to evaluate this at the boundary, even though it's not part of this piece. I'm going to evaluate at x equals -4. So let's see, 2 times -4 minus 1. 2 times -4 is -8, minus 1 gives us -9. And I'll evaluate one more point, a little more negative. Let's see, let's try -6. 2 times -6 minus 1. Let's see, 2 times -6 is -12 minus 1, that's -13. It's a little bit off the graph, but we'll go ahead and use it anyway. So we've got 2 points now, -4, -9, and -6, -13. I'll plot those 2 points, and I'll pay attention to the inequality up here when I plot the first one. At -4, -9, that is not part of the graph, not part of that piece, so I'll plot an open circle there. And then at -6, -13, just have to estimate here. Now this is not an endpoint, it's just another point on the graph that I'm using to get a slope. And since it's not on the grid, my slope may not be particularly accurate, but it's going to look something like this. All right. Now we'll evaluate the next part, our constant function 7. We'll just evaluate that at x equals -4, and at any value it would equal 7, but it's only defined at -4. So this is the only point on that piece of the graph, -4, 7. So at -4, I'm going to plot a solid dot representing that middle piece of the function. And then we'll evaluate the last part, 1/2 x plus 5. We'll find a couple of points on that. We'll evaluate it at x equals -4. Again, even though it's not defined at that point, we'll use that as a boundary. So let's see, 1/2 times -4 plus 5. 1/2 times -4 is -2. -2 plus 5 is +3. So we should have a point at -4, 3. And then we'll find one more point. And since this piece of the function is defined at the y-axis, I'll go ahead and find the y-intercept. I'll find it for x equals 0. It's always easy to evaluate. 1/2 times 0 plus 5 equals 5. So we have a point at 0, 5. And again, that point is not a boundary, so I'll just plot a little tick mark there to help guide my straight edge as I plot this point. So at -4, 3, we'll need another open circle. And then at 0, 5, we'll just put a little tick mark there. And let's see, I'll just go ahead and freehand this. Well, actually, no, I'll use my straight edge. See how well this works. And there's my graph.